closest to my heart in terms of taking care of the dogs. So if you come to our farm, you've seen some of the physical work, but a lot of what we do is on the computer. We keep track of everything about every dog on the farm. So I talked about us discussing poop. We have a chart in Excel for recording the poop of the different dogs on the farm. So this is just an example of the hundreds of records that we have. So for starters, we have the pup combinations. Anytime that we have a puppy litter, as they get older, we try to see who they would work well with in a cage and also who they would work well with in a team. And anytime we try a new combination, we record how that interaction went for the first couple of times. So green means it was great, they did really well together. Yellow, maybe it could work in the future. Red, maybe we don't try that again. Exactly. Then we have our potty training. Every dog on the farm is rotated through the house and taught how to be house trained. And that's really important for our adoption program so that the dogs know how to live in a home and that they're not, making a mess everywhere for their future owners. We have a walking chart for all of our older dogs and the dogs in the summertime as well. And most importantly is our medical chart here at the very end.
Yeah.
So any injuries, any illnesses, any chronic problems like pressure sores. We have a couple of dogs up at the house that have eye problems that need daily medications. All of that is kept track of in our medical records. That way as well, when a dog has an injury and needs to go to the vet for a checkup, we can print out their entire history for the vet to review.
Which is so important.
It's
I know
very
that in
important.
my job. It's very important.
Yeah. So all of that is kept track of, and that's a really big job for the dog medical person at the farm. And that's often rotated through some of the different training guides so that they can have that experience as well. It gives you a whole nother insight into the dog's lives and the way that we take care of them at the farm. And last but not least is our heat check up here at the top. So we do a heat check, which you'll get to experience in a bit, on every female on the farm 3 times a week.
Wow. Gosh. And how many females do you have?
We have 50 females at the moment.
Okay.
So that's 50 dogs that we check 3 times a week for heat. And when we do find a female in heat, we record it here. Red meaning that the dog is bleeding, and then orange is their danger period, and then yellow is just a safety week. So that way we keep track of any potential pregnancies, etc. And that's all recorded for us.
You don't want them near the boys in danger week.
No, we don't. And it's very obvious when they're in their
Yeah.
danger time. And then one of my favorite Excel sheets is our training master.
And what's
So
that?
this is where we keep track of every kilometer that every dog runs during the season, both training and in client season. And then we use this sheet with the macros to tell us who needs to run the following day.
Okay.
So for example, on this sheet it looks like we have Aslan, Hampwood, RV that are in green. And so that means I would prioritize those dogs when making teams for the following day's safaris. And that way we don't have to constantly think about who ran on Monday, who ran on Tuesday. This calculates for us who has run the most, who has run the least, and who needs to get out there and run the next.
So after every run, somebody goes back onto the computer and says, I ran these dogs for this amount of time today.
That's
And then
exactly
the
right.
computer does its computer thing and says, cool, you won't be running those next week now, because these have been next week.
Exactly. That's
Right.
exactly right. So at the end of every day, someone's up at the house putting in our running totals. And then this is a chart that shows you the running totals for the entire season. It's just got the dogs ranked by those who have run the most all the way to those who have run the least. It changes a little bit from year to year, but typically it's going to be your strongest leaders that have run the most kilometers. So for example, it looks like last year Aki was our number 1 dog and he ran 3,164 kilometers
In a year.
in a season.
In
Not
a
even a full
season.
year, in a season, yeah.
That's incredible.
It is. And so we've actually, this also shows the progression of the farm. So we started out at about 1,800 kilometers. That was Bina. And now we're up to 3,000. So
Great.
Wow.